Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and we are here for our Week 9 picks. We're going to go through the whole slate. Let's talk about it. But the warning that I will give to you and always give to you is that this is for fun. The NFL is hard to beat. I'm not going to force picks. And while I do try to give you the best line that is available, understand that I'm not necessarily comparing these to a model or, comping the value to the market, et cetera, okay? I am handicapping these games, and I'm trying to have a good time. So if that's your thing, come along for the ride. Last week, I asked you to put your extra most bestest picks. Justin Collins, my bad, Justin, said Falcons minus 2.5, that cash. Michael, who's been a long-time Green Beans Go supporter, had his pick correct, under 40.5 in the Saints and Chargers game. Austin Waitman, I believe, was on this list last week. I may be wrong. Washington +3. He'd even take the money line. Thanks to the Hail Mary, he got that. Reggie says Broncos minus 9.5. Easy. It was easy. And then Solomo, 2015, says his best pick is the over in the Titans-Lions game, and the Lions cleared that on their own. So make sure you're commenting your extra most bestest pick in the comments for this week. Last week was brutal for me, except for my extra most bestest. We're kind of flip-flopping. I had been doing really well in red and really poorly in my high confidence. And while I went 0 for 4 on my green picks, which is embarrassing, I did hit both my extra most bestest, 2-0. We're not doing great, guys. 51% on spread, 53% on totals. Brutal. I mean, the only spot we're profitable right now is our red totals. That's awful. I'm doing awful. This is horrible. This is why it's for fun. I wouldn't put $1 on any of these right now. I'm ice cold. All right. Let's talk about bye week. Steelers and 49ers. They're not going to play. So Nick Bosa is probably too busy at the polls this week to think about football. Thursday. I'm a little shocked. I'm very shocked, actually. Now, I realize that my line of 5.5 is probably weighing too much on recency bias, and that the Jets are bad, and it's kind of punishing them subconsciously for how horrible they've played. In reality, they probably are a better team than a 6-point home underdog. However, do I think they should be a 2-point favorite against Houston? No. So I will take the Houston Texans. Sorry, I'm going to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb so it doesn't play the Nickelodeon vibration. That's not what I have, but that's what I sang. And over 41.5 with some high confidence. So I know that I typically don't give you two bangers right off the bat, but I'm giving you an extra most bestest, and I'm giving you a high confidence total pick right away. These could both lose, absolutely, especially the way I've been playing, but I like both of these. This game is tomorrow. It should be a good one. I hope it's a good one. Sunday at 1 o'clock, Dallas and Atlanta. And now that I'm finally fading the Dallas Cowboys, this might be the first time I've gone against them. Watch them cover. Watch them win outright. I think the total is where there's a spot here. It appears way too high, 52.5. I think both of these teams have the ability to put up points, but we've seen them struggle in certain weeks, and I think this is a closer, more grinded out game than Vegas is expecting. So I would take the Falcons at home, minus 2.5, but I would take that under with high confidence. 52.5, again, seems way too high. Sunday at 1, Denver and Baltimore. Kind of the tale of two teams. Denver really finding a groove, and Baltimore with probably one of their worst losses, if you don't count the loss to the Raiders in week 2, losing on the road to the Browns. This team can beat good teams and struggles against bad teams. What are the Broncos? I don't know. I think the Broncos are an overrated team, and I think this will be their first test of the season. However, I had the line at 7.5 and the total at 42.5, so I would go under in high confidence at 45.5, and I'll take the Broncos plus 9.5, but I don't love it. Sunday at 1, Dolphins and Bills, a divisional matchup and familiar foe with these two teams, and kind of a must-win for the Dolphins, although I think it is probably too late. They are probably out of the playoffs, or their percentage is probably sub 10% to make it. I set the line pretty close, 6.5. I would take the Bills minus 6 and low confidence, but again, divisional matchups always scare me. I would go with the under 49.5 because the Bills defense is playing surprisingly well, and the Dolphins offense is surprisingly bad. Now, Tua should have an extra week of practice, an extra week of reps, which may help them. That's why I don't have a ton of confidence. These would be my picks. Saints and Panthers. One of these teams will get a win this week, which is saying something considering what we've seen out of them. Carr should be back, which gives the advantage in a big way to the Saints. And the Carolina Panthers lost their Johnson this week. They've been losing their Johnson all year, but they definitely lost their Deontay Johnson this week. I have no confidence in this game. We'll go +7, and we'll go under 43.5. Raiders and Bengals. Here's the deal. The Raiders have this thing where they play high-profile teams well. They played the Ravens and the Chiefs close. Did I spell Chiefs wrong? I before E except after C. It's after C, but it doesn't look right. Spelling is not my strong suit. All right, I'll take the Raiders plus 7.5. I had it at 6.5. And I'll take the over 46.5. I had it at 48.5. No confidence in either. It's an ugly game. I think it's a must-win for the Bengals, but the Raiders, I think, could play spoiler in this one. Chargers and Browns. I am struggling with this because of the Browns hype. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to fall into the trap of the Browns hype. I think the Los Angeles Chargers will play D well and struggle to score, as they've done all year. I have them as a 1-point favorite with a total at 40.5. I would take the under 42.5 and the Browns plus 2. Jameis Winston is probably looking to get out and go again and kind of back up his awesome performance against the Ravens. So we'll see what happens. No confidence in that one. Commanders and Giants. We do have a high confidence pick, and that is the over. I have this total at 48.5. I think both of these teams have shown weaknesses defensively, and both of these teams have shown flashes offensively of being good. And even the Giants are getting things going in their passing game, which is the Commanders' weakness. So over 43.5 feels good. They had a bit of a scare last week, did the Commanders, but I think they'll be better prepared this week and cover that 3.5. Short week for the Giants. I do expect points in this one. Not a ton of confidence in the spread, but I do like the over a lot. The Patriots or the Titans also will get a win. So the Saints, the Panthers, the Patriots, and the Titans, 2 of those teams will get a win this week. That's saying something. I don't know what Drake May is going to do. I don't know if he's going to play or not. So this line right now doesn't really mean anything to me, but I am surprised that the Patriots are plus 3.5. They have been competitive this year in games on U.S. soil. They weren't competitive to the Jaguars, but every other game, they played pretty close or shown promise. So I would take the over 37.5. I would take the Patriots plus 3.5, but not a lot of confidence in either. Moving on to the late afternoon 4 o'clock slate, Bears and Cardinals. Bears beats bad Dulstar Galactica teams. All right, if you get the reference, you get the reference. The Bears beat the bad teams, and they lose to the good teams, is what I've seen this year. So I'll take the Cardinals as home pick 'em. All right, it's kind of an even spread. There's no favorite. Vegas is giving this an equal opportunity for both teams. So give me the Cardinals at home to win the game. High confidence green pick. They're the top team in the NFC West, which coming into the season they had the worst odds. Do I think they're going to win the NFC West? No, but we'll give them respect through 8 weeks, and we'll lock them in for a win against the Bears. Jags and Eagles. An ugly game, and every part of me hates these picks. No further questions, Your Honor. I would take the Jags plus 7.5 simply because you get the hook of the touchdown. I take the over 45.5 simply because I don't know what that Jaguars defense is capable of, and in the past 3 weeks, they're not capable of much. I hate it, but I think the Jags are finding something offensively that should be able to compete with the Eagles, especially kind of a weak secondary. So those are my picks. I don't love either of them. This game, I don't like. Part of me doesn't even like picking games that I'm excited for. I don't want to take anything out of it. Like this is a fantastic rivalry. This is a fantastic this is everything for a football fan. Even if you're not a fan of either of these teams. I had the Lions as 4.5-point favorites. I had the total at 52.5. It's 3 and it's 48.5. I would take the Lions to cover and the over. I have a weird feeling though that the Packers have been more tested and may win this game. So I'm not going to do anything with this monetarily. I'm not going to put any money on this. So I just kind of go back and forth in the fact that I do, my brain is saying Lions minus 4.5. My gut is saying Packers money line, right? And that's a big difference. So I'm staying away. I don't have a lean, and that's okay to not have a lean. Extra most bestest pick of the week, Rams minus 1.5. They are peaking at a perfect time, and I would say watch out. Watch out for the Rams right now. Seattle has not been back-to-back home dogs since high school, since I was in high school, I think. I haven't verified that statistic, but it feels correct. 2 games in a row, they've been home dogs, and I have no confidence in them right now. They've shown me nothing. So we'll take the Rams, who always give Seattle trouble, especially in Seattle. Go look at the history, guys. It's sad. And as a longtime Seahawks fan, I know what to expect when the Rams come to town. We're going to lose. All right, so Rams -1.5, over 47.5 would be my pick. Sunday Night Football, bit of an odd one, just because it's kind of AFC, NFC. I don't know. I don't feel like we get that a ton of times. That could be completely wrong. Colts and Vikings. 3 was my line, 44.5. Did Vegas not get the news? Joe Flacco's starting. This team is much better when Joe Flacco plays. Let's do it. The Vikings feel the pressure of the Lions, Packers, and Bears. Oh my. I mean, this division is so tight, and there's a lot of pressure on them, and they've lost the last 2, I believe. I think. They definitely lost last week to the Rams. I think they lost the week prior to the Lions. That could be right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Colts +5.5. I think that spread's too high. It's kind of like the Colts are putting the chips in the middle of the table. By benching Anthony Richardson, they're saying we are trying for a playoff spot. Our division is up for grabs. The AFC is weak, and if the Houston Texans are going to win, we have a chance at the wild card because we're fighting with Denver, who's got a tough schedule remaining. We're fighting with the Chargers, who have a tough schedule remaining. Like, now is our time to go, and I think that's why they're choosing to play Joe Flacco. So give me the Colts, maybe outright. We'll see. Monday Night Football is a game I'm excited for. I think the Buccaneers are still valid, even though they've lost some guys. The Chiefs, I did spell Chiefs wrong. See, look, I-E. I before E, except after C, except when it's Chiefs. Who cares about English? I hate it. I used to teach English. The Chiefs have not dominated anybody, all right? They have only covered this line of 8.5 against the Saints and the Niners. And I think the Buccaneers are arguably better than the Saints. I know they're better than the Saints, arguably better than the Niners, or possess more than the Niners. So I'll take the Buccaneers on the road. Monday Night Football, prime time, injured, banged up. I don't care. +8.5, but I would take the under 46.5. Remember, guys, drop your extra most bestest picks right now in the comments. Mine are Rams -1.5, Texans +2, and Falcons, Dallas under 52.5. We swept last week, even though the rest of our picks were horrible. Let's try to sweep again. Thank you, guys. Tomorrow we'll do our touchdown picks. I know I took the week off last week. I gave you the data, but I didn't make picks. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I don't know. I may not make picks. Bah!